Hello. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening. It's your Blue Archive Gacha Whale, beginner artist self-proclaimed, and your boy, Tosanyu. Welcome to the chatting stream. Like how I usually call it like the Zatsudan, but some people also call it just chatting, they call it like yapping, they call it like let's talk, talking. You know, in any case, it's gonna be me, the big boy, filling the stream with like my talking. So this is like what you can expect, and this is like maybe about 1 hour long, maybe like about 90 minutes. But I have to like tune a little bit down, and at the same time I want to take care of like some things. So while I'm doing this, which is like not taking too much concentration, I have like time to like yap with you guys. So with like pretty much what like happened the last time, like unlike what I must like say, you know, I'm pretty busy. I'm pretty busy like recently. I kinda have to like take like measures in my own hand, you know. Normally I would be like, okay, let's do another drawing stream. So like if you take a look at the stream schedule of this week here, it's like not much. There was like one drawing stream I did earlier, like a few days ago, and there's like the chatting stream today. Normally I would have packed in there like another drawing stream, you know, like having 2 drawing streams in 1 week. That's like, wow, sugoi Tosan. You're like kind of like feeding us well, but in this case there's like nothing like that, but instead like a talking one, and it's just like the reason, wow, Tosan busy, I can't accommodate that much. Let's do it like this, that I work on something at the same time I'm like kind of trying to entertain, but at the same time, what can I do to entertain? So I'm gonna hide this quickly again, but you know, tomorrow is also like Mi's side, and this game is like pretty good, I must like say. I played like about more than 2 hours, less than 3 hours for sure, and I'm like, it's like kind of rare to find like games on this caliber, I must like say. And also kind of like surprise, you know, normally you buy like a lot of games and you let them kind of like rot, but there are like some gems in there, kind of, you know. Like back in the days it was like a lot more difficult to like tell what game is like a hidden gem, what is like pretty good. Hi Tosan, hello Moody, welcome to the Zatsudan stream, or like chatting stream, however people call it. Welcome, welcome, hope you're doing well. So I was like talking pretty much about like games and like hidden gems pretty much. Since I talked like about, I started off like with one game on the streaming schedule, which is like called Mi's Side. Maybe you guys heard about it, or like you heard about it. No? Indie game, like popping off, pretty it's like doing pretty well in the player base, and there's already a lot of like fan art out there, you know. Normally if you like think about successful games, maybe like think about the very big ones that are like that have like their own movies, for example, their own like merch, like figurines, like some books, action figures, Lego, kind of, pretty much. But When in comparison, you know, like there's like AAA game, let's say like Dragon Age, the whatever guard, I'm not really sure, Dragon Guard, Vanguard. It's like a AAA game, it has like the pronouns, it has customization, it has like DI, for example, when there's like this indie game, you know, that's like just made a small team and like pretty much did a better job, you know, something like this, like hidden gems, that they have like all the stuff that's like, you know, pretty irrelevant for the story, for the enjoyment, while the rest is like, it's like too much in one. That's many elements that, you know, there are like too many cooks there that are like ruining, they're like burning down the kitchen pretty much. I think like, yeah, if you have like limited resources, you get like pretty creative, but the more you have, the more you like lose sight of what is like the objective, what's like the goal. I think like about the old games, like 90s, 2000s, you know. I must like say, they were like clunky from the graphic. It has like low quality, so like you play it on the CCTV, right? And I think like internet was a thing, but not everyone had it. At least like for my side. My parents would use it, but I was not always allowed to use it. Since like with the internet comes like, you have like access to so many things, including like NSFW, right? And I was like a little brat, and I couldn't like really like look for help. If I'm like struggling in a game, I can't like ask, you know. If I want to have a new game for like my console, I also like couldn't really ask. All I could like rely on is on my friends or like television advertisement. So sometimes there would be like the mainstream stuff from Nintendo, maybe like PlayStation, sometimes Xbox, but it was like for the most part, yeah, what was it? I could like remember like those Pokemon kind of advertisements, like the Western ones, like for Sapphire, for like Ruby. At some point there was like Emerald edition. But what I kind of like found entertaining was those Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, right? It's like so old, so freaking old. But I kind of like remember it, have it like in a good memory, I must like say. You know, like Explorer of Time, Explorer of Darkness. You there were like this time was like standing still, like that everything's like standing in place, but the only ones that can like move are like the main protagonists, kind of. And this kind of advertisements was like little brats, and they would like step in slowly to the streets, like kind of like some walking scenes in like Dune, you know. They like walk up very slowly, like as they're like slow-mo, and then there are like hard dialogues coming up. But in this advertisement they were not talking at all. And they were like just walking, and a shadow would like cast, and it's like in the form of those Pokemon. I think like yeah, of like some of the starter Pokemons you could like start your adventure as. So those were like pretty much the games I were like aiming for to play. I must like say those are pretty good. like dungeon crawler, more or less. It's like not the first person crawler, but you're looking at it on a bird view, and then you have like every time if you enter like a room, you can like see almost the entire room, depending on like if it fills your whole screen. But if there's not, there's also like a small mini map, and then you could like see how many enemies were there, what items are there. Of course you wouldn't be able to see the traps, but it's like a lot of like elements into it. Similar to like those RPG games where you like in a dungeon kind of, they're like monster walking around. Of course one group of monsters are like no deal to you, but if they can deal some decent damage, then how do I manage that with HP? How do I survive? How many healing items should I like pack? Like having like, let's say 3 fights against like 3 monster groups, and then go back to healing, like back to the town. It's taking like a lot of time away. And in a gaming session, you kinda like have to min-max, right? Like in real life, you kinda have to min-max as well, since you have only 24 hours in your day, right? And gaming time equals also like real life time use, pretty much, right? The less you have, the easier it is to manage. Yes. The more it like becomes, the harder maybe. The harder it is. Think like when you were younger. Let's say like as an old man, but let's say if you're like still going to school. I think like you have a lot of time. You might be busy from like school, like doing your exams, doing your homework, making sure that your performance like going well. Like attending school is also important, and also like participating in the class itself. So if you like raising your hand, you know, when the teacher is like, okay, who wants to answer my question, you know, or like wants to write something on the blackboard, on the board, kind of, yeah, something like that. You have like pretty much your dailies, right? But if you perform well, you get like a good score. It's like in games, video games. But those like, even though you have like a lot of time, a lot of freedom, all your decisions you do while you're like in this kind of area where you like just go to school and do the small steps, they contribute to like a bigger cause, like your whole future, pretty much. If it's always like the parents who know like the importance of that, and if their children, they kind of want that their kid is like doing better than them, but of course they also like acknowledge that it's good that the kid has like their freedom. Like not to be pressured by the surroundings into doing things and just be a puppet, you know. I pretty much had like this kind of feeling of that. Like some people have like a different kind of experience as well, that it's like, yeah, you're like young, you have like your freedom, but once you go like become like older, you're like out of your nest. Pretty much, you like leave the parents' house, you're like on your own, you try to find a job for yourself instead of like staying home and do nothing really. You say like do nothing, but maybe you stand up, you have all the freedom, yo, I can play games, I can hang out with friends, can do whatever, but as like time goes on, maybe they will like find work, and then you don't have that many opportunities to like spend your time in your day well. And after you like play games for, let's say, the first hour, it's like pretty fun, but the longer it goes on, the more your energy and fun meter, the more, you know, it like depletes. Like if you eat a lot of like chocolate, you know, like if you eat one bar of like Mars, like say like a chocolate bar, it's like good, but the more you take, the less pleasant it will be, and the more it like hurts. I say like hurt, but the more discomforting it becomes. It's like kind of like weird. I'm eating my favorite chocolate bar, playing like my favorite game, and I do it so much, and it stops to become fun. Why is that, you know? While like you were like busy, kind of like during school, it was like pretty much enjoyable. It was pretty much enjoyable for me to like indulge to like my pleasures. But yeah, it becomes like noticeable that everything should be like done within a certain, you know, you should not overdose by any means. Like especially if it's like medicine, never overdose, can have like side effects, and in the terms of like real life and consuming games, consuming sweets, even yeah, it's like more noticeable like sweets, maybe like alcohol, maybe like well, maybe surely with alcohol and like smoking, it becomes noticeable. And there are always warnings on those things. Especially if it's like in Germany, they have like a lot of labels on like those cigarette packages. And some discomforting pictures in there, but people are like addicted, kind of. They can't like stop. It needs like a lot of dedication to be able to like stop it. Like in the sense of determination, so to say. Some people would like say willpower, but willpower is a limited resource, to be honest. If you're like able to log in, it can be cool. You know like exactly what you need to do and can plan ahead of time. Like let's say if you're in like video game and you face like against a boss enemy, you might like lose the first few times, but you will get used to the situation, the most difficult parts, and then you can learn to anticipate it, like in a flow state, and yeah, parry all of those, dodge all of those maybe, and then land your counter strikes once opening is like there. And you know like exactly when to, how much you can deal before you have to like go back to guarding stance, you know? Or maybe do like 1-2 hits, then roll back, now you're out of range again, like something like that. That you like pretty much like know what to expect in a situation. Living like in enough distance, look from afar, gain information, Some people can do it pretty fast, some might take longer, but always lead to Rome. Like all, there are like many right answers. There's like not a definite one, for sure. Of course, like certain, like let's say about Dark Souls, like Souls-like games. Some people use it like in a cheesy way, some go like with a cheesy build, you know, then spam that. Some are like pro gamers or like do like a speedrunning way, but like in games where you have like limited, not limited really, but have like your creative way on like doing getting a win, life can also be that. But the more difficult a boss enemy becomes, the more limited your options will be. Some obstacles, some challenges can only be done in a certain way. People would like say Bloodborne is easy, since it's encourages to go like aggressive, anga banga, they say like, right? That when you lose some part of your HP, but you strike enough back enough, you can like regain those lost HP, kind of. While in Souls-like games, you usually have to be patient, you know? Maybe like wait 10 seconds instead of like 3 seconds, you know? They do like attack, it looks like an obvious opening. You try to go in, and then it was just a bait, kind of. And then it becomes like, okay, I have to wait here, I have to wait there. Kinda like interesting. I haven't like played many Souls-like games. My first one was like Dark Souls 2. Some people like say it's the worst one, but I think like it was pretty good. It was peak. I'm making like enemies maybe, but I think like those kind of games, you know, we have like a boss enemy with like patterns. It also like relates to like competitive games. And if I get to watch things like Street Fighter or like Tekken, games I never played really, I do understand like you do understand if you have like fundamentals from somewhere, like how the fundamentals in the other game works, like footsies. No. Footsies is such a nice word, I must like say. I like the kind of pronunciation of that and the meaning. But how can you translate that? You know, like what's the definition of footsies? I wonder like what Google has. Sounds like miniature foots, right? The Oxford languages. Footsie. But it's not footsies. Oh gosh, oh no. Well, let me read out like some of the definitions. Footsie. 1. A child's word for a person's foot. 2. The action of touching someone's feet lightly with one's own foot, especially on a table, is a playful expression of romantic interest. Holy crap. The FGC kind of footsies. Like the original footsie is like, okay, this is like a gesture of flirting. Holy crap. But let's see. Footsie's FGC meaning. What does it mean? Okay, quote. A complicated, often nebulous term that refers to the battle for controlling the space in front of you, often by using good pokes. In essence, you're trying to get to a range you like, while trying to deny your opponent getting to a range that they like. And that's the explanation. And that pretty much summarizes what that is. Obtaining range. And also gatekeeping this area where you like in control. And there are many ways to do that. I think like of some examples in like Smash Brothers. If it's like a 1v1, it is like surely easier since you only have to focus on the person in front of you. Or rather like if it's on the screen, only on the opponent, you know? And they have like limited options since it's like a side-scrolling fighting game. If it turns out to like a 3D, it becomes like more difficult. I think like, especially if it's team-based, you know, like Valorant, like first-person shooters in like teams. Maybe like similar games like Marvel Rivals, you know, people like play that a lot now. It becomes like hard since there are like multiple angles that they can like shoot from. When there's like the high ground, there are like areas where there are like no covers, there are like some with covers, you know, and then it's like about thinking from where it's gonna be unpredictable, and if I'm gonna throw a grenade there, can I bait them out to this space, something like that. I think like it's not about macro game plan, I would like say, rather than playing only a reaction. Maybe it's like a mix of like reaction and like planning ahead, you know, like reading your opponents. Like not only one, but like multiple. In Apex, for example, it's like at max you can like build a team out of 3 players. Like your little squad, so to say. Like a little, like not a full-fledged army, you know, with like thousands of people, but like a miniature, you know, so that you can go like undercover and but still are like effective as hell. I've yet to like find games that are like similar in this aspect, that go like a little bit stealth, but like a small squad. That there's a leader, maybe a tank, there's one sniper, and there's like some kind of hacker in there, right? In case of like that the doors are closed and they have to go like undercover, you know. But even the hacker has like hands. That thing, for example. I see this like pretty much in like Blue Archive. It's like not it's like guns girls with guns. It's like not post-apocalyptic setting and like depressed girls with like guns. Yeah. But you know, I do wonder, like when video games are like evolving, how will the generation look like, you know? Like what will be their most favorite game? What games are going to be played the most? I know like for sure back in the days, things like Minecraft were like big. Maybe things like I think like Roblox are like still going on. Yeah, I do not know much about Roblox to be honest. It's like a platform, I think, and you can like make your kind of themed games with Roblox, right? Maybe like the old Nintendo games, kind of. PlayStation, I mean, there are like some, yeah. But if I'm thinking about the future, you know, I grew like up with Nintendo games, with like some PlayStation 2 games as well. But like in the new generation, you know, there's like Fortnite, and then it's like, yeah, okay, kids are like playing a game of guns, you know, and like building, pretty much. And they have like short attention span, you know, like in the terms of like Generation Z, Gen Z. That they can't like focus on long form content if there's like not something like Subway Surfer playing, like this kind of meme. Like I sure like wonder. There was also like a time like in, I think, Call of Duty lobbies that there's like voice chat on, and usually there are like a lot of adult people, like grown-ass men, and then randomly kids get like they join, they want to play, and then you are like behind all those hardboard voices that are like deep, like adult, and then, "Hi, I'm Steve, I'm Sharon, can I play with you?" You know, something like that. And those kind of lobbies can be like pretty ruthless, I think. Like, this is not where you're supposed to be, little kid. But yeah, I think like with the development of like Fortnite, a lot of like kids play that instead, and Call of Duty lobbies are like pretty much you know, like cleansed off them. So yeah, making certain games helps with like certain communities, so that the kiddos like stay away from there, even though it sounds rough. Like in that sense, you know, when we have like adult games and children-friendly games, you know. That is, if they're like something like loot boxes, like gacha. In order to do gacha, you need like some premium currency in those games. Like in real life, it's like pretty manageable, kind of, but it's expensive. Like as to those that are like known to me, like those gachapongs in like some of like those manga stores. And they're like about few different items. Like I would like, let's say like 10, and you like one specific one out of the collection. If you like weep, you know, let's say it's like this meme with like that there's like on a couch a white woman sitting, and behind her are like 4 dudes, you know? Know this meme? Like those dark-skinned dudes. And you want only to pull on those gacha the women, right? The women. The chance is like pretty low, since it's like pretty high that you get like one of the dudes and like not the girl, right? And you can like use like lose $5 like that, and it's like kind of the risk. In games, however, they're like something like dailies, and if you do it like often enough, you can like obtain in months of playtime like enough for like 200 like let's say 200 pulls, to say, on a banner or whatever. In real life, it's kind of like rough if it's like $5. We translate that 50. Oh man, this may be like $500, you know. like doing dailies is kind of like encouraged. And in games, for example, compared to like real life, in games there's like a meta, in real life not really, that's just like for collection purposes. But still some people like do it. It's just like the thrill of like getting the first try, getting like so lucky. But with games it's like, yeah, it's like more reasonable kind of. Even though it like sounds kind of weird. Spending money in a casino to earn more money? No. Spending money to get a PNG of an anime girl? Hell yeah! I'm a simple man. I see the chance of obtaining a PNG of an anime girl, I buy. Like gacha ruins me pretty much. I try to avoid spending, but if there's discounts, I do think it's a good deal. So why not? I used to like spend mostly in Google Play Store, via Google Play Store, like with those gift cards, like I like spent those funds onto like gacha. There's like something like a payback system, like when you go shopping in real life, you get like points backs. Sometimes they have like those kind of offers that if you buy like certain products, that you get like extra points. Like if I buy like $100 Google Play card, it would be like, if you do this, you get like $10 worth of points like back. I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's do that. And the prices like on the Google Play Store, like if I wanted to get like funds in Blue Archive, were like pretty high. But when the time like came, it got like released into the Samsung Galaxy Store, then it was like even cheaper there, because you would not pay taxes at all. Like taxes in Germany are like 90%, so like almost 20%. And it's like a pretty high number when it like, not as for a singular purchase, but like for a lot more. And I did like a lot. Enough that I reached like diamond tier in like Google Play Store. Like every week I can like, I'm like able to get up to 100 points there, like in the raffle, and sometimes more goodies like Google Play Pass, getting like YouTube Premium, Disney Plus subscriptions for free, whatever. Like this are like some of the benefits of being a diamond tier, and customer service gonna be pretty responsive, kind of, if I ever have problems, since I'm like in the premium tier. I'm like VIP, VIP, kind of. But since like this thing with Samsung Galaxy Store came, then yeah, I switched to there. I had to like buy a Samsung phone though. It was like $120, $130, like pretty cheap. But I only use it like for doing purchases in Blue Archive, kind of. Originally, when I was like trying to buy things in Google Play Store, like getting like the highest amount of pyroxenes, like this one for 6,600. Those are like enough for 75 pulls. No, 65 pulls. Those were like for 80 bucks in the Google Play Store. In the Samsung Galaxy Store though, it was 60 bucks. 61 bucks to be precise. This was like a lot better. And sometimes they have like those discount offers. Monthly, sometimes weekly. And like on some seasonal events. Let's say there's like a specific holiday. You know, in America they have like something like Thanksgiving or like Black Friday, those kind of things. And in those events, Samsung Galaxy Store would also like decide to give like out some coupon codes out there, or like coupons in general. Those are like pretty nice to like save money. Problem though, if they do like those kinds of offers, this is like kind of that trick that you keep on giving them money. It might be less, but you still keep paying money. If I imagine, I wouldn't have like spent money on gacha games, you know, where I just like get PNGs of anime girls. I would have a lot of money, I know. Enough maybe to get myself, you know, something like a Life 2D that I'm like bouncing kind of up and down, something like that. I could like move around a lot more instead of like just looking to one side. Being like pretty expressive. There are like some ways. With my own effort, of course. But there was a talk of that your time is limited. 24 hours, you know. You spend like a lot of this time with like sleeping. Like 8 hours, you know, like a third of your lifetime is spent with sleeping. The rest is like, yeah, you're awake. Cool. But what do you do in this time, right? As a gamer, you would like say, yeah, I want to be productive, I want to like min-max this and that. But at the end of the day, you want to look out for yourself. You want to pamper yourself somewhat, right? Like spoil yourself a little here and there, which is like pretty healthy. Since mental health is pretty important. It is important. And every person has like their own way of living their own life. Sure, there are like some very efficient ways on spending life, but a lot of things have like their side effects as well. A lot of like CEOs, for example, they're like pretty much are soulless. They're pretty much soulless and those kind of corporate persons, you know, that they like think about profit and numbers pretty much, which is like not pretty. It's like not wrong, you know, but it's like not much on the humane side, where they like care about the mental health of like certain people, and if you're like not strong enough, you kind of like go under. Like in Japan, the work culture there is like pretty rough. I'm like laughing now. I shouldn't laugh. But it's like kind of like dumb, you know. It is like a very well-developed country. It's like pretty good entertainment culture. They invent like some really cool things. cool games, for example, you know. But as to like their work culture, it is toxic. And you can feel really uncomfortable there. Some people, they committed, you know, they committed. Of course, all work culture here in Germany is like not that bad, but it sure tells like, yeah, bro, sis, you take better care of yourself. And if it's like the older people, you know, like teachers, the uncle, the auntie, you know, or maybe like grandma, grandpa, granny, whoever, you know, and think about it from time to time. At least it's like what I got, you know. Like some friend of mine is like, yeah, you're like in this kind of age, and when you do your own mistakes for a long time, reflect on it, and it can shape you. But on my part, it was like mostly a lot of advice, and I heard it, but it took time to process it. For me, it took like a lot of time. And when those mistakes kicked in, at some points when I had like the moment of silence, you know, or like time for myself, I would also say, it did arrived. Arrived, yeah. Like the way I'm on stream, I was like not that kind of person like back in the days. I must like say I messed up a lot in my life, messed up a lot of things up. Like a lot of people I look up to, or at least like not look up to, but I think are like good role models. And if I hear like about them talking about themselves, it's like, you know, that they kind of like effed around a lot in their life. It's like kind of like weird to think about that, since they have like a pretty nice sounding voice. They are like pretty happy when they like talk about the things they're passionate about, but they still like stay in a mature kind of way. And it's like somewhat like, you know, say so. So like prim and proper, that they sound like pure, you know? Like safe for work, you could also like say. But when they talk about that they did their mistakes back in the day, you know? Like kind of unbelievable at first when I hear it, but when I think about that and reflect on my own, you know, kind of way of life, like how I lead my life, it's also like, yeah, it is recognizable. It's like not wrong. Of course, there are like people who like rarely do mistakes, but this also like means that their potential of growth is also like hindered. Like if you do nothing, you don't do mistakes. Some wise people said to me. Well, it's kind of like in the heat of the moment. You can get angry if you like mess up, but you can't do anything about it. If it's in your power, why getting like angry? Like change it, you know, if you can change it. And if you can't change it, you know, there's also like no use in like getting angry, right? Like if it rains and you complain about it, it doesn't help to like make it go away. Even if you don't complain, the rain will still like go on. World is like still turning, right? Whatever happens with your emotional state, the world is still going on. But at the same time, take care of yourself. So like some things I think I've learned over the years. Almost a decade. Actually, when did I start out with my journey, you know? Like leaving the parents' house. I could like give a hint on how old I am. Like with that. That sure was like a time. To be honest, I don't really enjoy those times in which I messed up and had like this kind of discomfort in my life. At the same time, you can't like turn back the time, you know, and like undo your mistake, you know. Like imagine you have the power to like be able to load to a save file in a part of your life. And with that have the chance to like undo your mistake. Would you do it? But in the heat of the moment, I would like say, yeah, please let's undo it. Now that there's like a lot of time has like passed, you know? Like, it's like now the 8th of February, 2025. Now that's like at this point. Do I care about that issue? Now, like this one issue that has like passed for a lot of time. Like this one moment where I like regretted it and like the heat of the moment where I was like, oh, I want to like turn it back. I choked here, whatever the reason is, like, you know. Like a big mistake you want to like undo. For my part, it's like, yeah, let's leave it be. In the end, like those kind of events, they change you and make you grow. Especially like those mistakes. They're always like... It's like kind of like hard to say it. It's always like... normally it's like, life is not a single player game. Not really. It's like... it's like kind of weird if I like compare to a video game, you know? But you could like say it's an MMORPG, right? It's an MMORPG. The life. in an MMORPG, there can be winners and there can be losers, you know? If it's like a 1v1 game, you know, you against another human, they're also like losers and winners. I mean, I know they are like winners and losers. Someone always pulls the shorter end of the stick, and it's like horrible that this is like happening. Everybody deserves like happiness and world peace. Let's go for that. It's like the usual wish a lot of people like have, you know, and it's like not wrong to wish for that. That would be like great. At the same time, yeah, there's not always like if you like think about it realistically, it's also like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. It would be like cool, but yeah, it would be nice if everyone like deserves their own things, but if there's like no struggle at all, you know, the days would like feel a lot emptier, kind of. No struggle, no kind of defeat scenario, you know, just like no kind of losses. If you don't have any of those things, like the feeling of frustration, the feeling of like being ashamed, there would be like no growth, right? If everyone can live like happily, that sure is nice, but if there's no struggle, there's like no kind of fulfillment, like no rivalry, no motivation, kind of. And if I like think about some of the greatest pieces of entertainment, like anime for example, like some of the coolest moments in there were like competition, the rivalry like between friends, like but you can like say friends and rivals are like not the same thing, you know? You can't be a friend and a rival at the same time. Like this kind of dynamic between in like Shonen Jump series, you know? And like the old Big Three, for example. There was like Naruto and Sasuke, for example. It is kind of necessary in life that you compete, I guess. And competition can lead to personal growth. For a long time for me, it was like, yeah, bad mindset that held me back. And when I quit playing for a long while, I told like in real life some people like the story kind of like in like shorter form, you know, like in just like one sentence, two sentences maybe, like not a lot, but if you're like way too focused on yourself, way too focused on like winning, you know, and then you lose, you know, it can hurt your ego and you lose like sight of like what's important, kind of like there are winners and losers, right? Even if you accept it, it can like still eat you up, and this is like not really a healthy way. Like if I lose in like in a Dark Souls game against a boss, like first try, it's there are like a lot of explanations why you lost, right? You were not prepared. You didn't know like what the moveset looks like. A lot of people like struggle first try like against a boss, and they need like a lot of time to like get down the pattern. Even speedrunners like need to need like the practice kind of. until they're like pretty sure that they can do it the fastest way possible. They go in like naked, you know, and they have like some crappy weapon, or maybe like some weapon they get like later on the way. They can like deal as much damage as possible, you know, but they just try to land like a lot of like critical hits, kind of like parry, and then if they're like stumbling, they can like do like those critical hits or like whatever it's like, I guess, you know. Like no good enemy just lets their guard down, so you have to like wait for a lot for it to happen. And also like put in your own effort. And this sounds like exhausting to me. But yeah, if you have like a pretty high goal, it's like not necessary to reach the goal. Lower those goals, yes. And be happy if you like reached maybe like 20% of the goal. Maybe like 5%, you know? Like, try to lower your expectations, I guess. If you like see that you make like progress, that's good enough. And progress is like not a steep curve upwards, you know, like a diagram that goes like from here to up there, you know, it's like up, down, sometimes like in the middle, you're like consistent, then it goes like immediately upwards and sometimes like downwards, kind of. And yeah. But even after your struggle, you will rise up at some point. But yeah, I hope like you guys at least stay constant with the flow, that you like do well. And yeah. Oh man. And talk like about games, right? When I talk about some kind of life things, I guess. Life is hard. Life was hard for me, I guess. It's not as hard as those veterans, you know, that were like in the war and everything. But even like people in Gen Alpha or like millennials, they have like their fair amount of struggle. It's also like interesting to listen to their stories, kind of. Like I love sitting down with them or like taking a walk with them and just like talking about life, kind of. Like not necessarily about future and everything, but like talking about them, you know, like so that they have like more of a image on like how the other person is, what are like things they're enjoying, what they are they looking forward to, and what did they learn, for example, or like what are the things they dislike, you know. Even if it's like a thing I like, you know, it can be important to like exchange information, you know, while maybe we like have like differences, the person and me, at least there's respect and understanding. If I at least can reach that, you know, at least can get to that point, it's like, okay, wonderful, you know. In life there will always be something like that, and it's like important to like find compromises, not necessarily like with the other person, but like with yourself, you know, like with your kind of set requirements, maybe like morals, whatever you like preset, you know, that you like edit those things, I guess. But yeah, those people who have like a lot of stories to tell, they're usually the ones that mess up a lot in life, I would like say. Those people who like sound calm, like I don't know. There are like a lot of different personalities out there and they have all like their own way of like sharing their knowledge. Some do it like in a good way, some do it like in a way where everybody can understand it, you know. Like they're like some kind of teaching styles. Yeah, there's like that. But since your own amount of like inventory and like story are like limited, it's not bad to like, yeah, no, go to other people, talk with them, know more about their life. Of course you are the main character of your own story, but it sure is freaking interesting when you listen to other people. It can be also like interesting to like talk to a class clown, you know, and then just get more insight what are like the things they enjoy in their life, and you know, what they're looking forward to, what's like a goal they have like in mind. And maybe it's like that they don't really have a plan, but it sure is like important to be like happy in life, for example, you know. Like with some people, you know, back in the days I found like a little bit annoying. I was like, why are you laughing, you know? And you're kind of like clown, you know that? You're kind of like dumb, and it's like, why should I not laugh, you know? They said something like that. Should I be always sad and that kind of thing? Should I be like, ooh, I'm so depressed? And something like in this kind of manner they like were like conveying. And I was like thinking about that a while, kind of like back then. I didn't thought much of it, I was like just thinking, oh, what an idiot, you know, but now that I'm like this point, I remember that, it's like, yeah, you're not wrong. You're like kind of a weird dude, but it's like a good kind of mindset, I would say. Good for you. While he does this mistake, he has a smile there, and maybe with that a willingness to like improve. Like nowadays I can look at the things like more with like, yeah, maybe you're right, you know, maybe you have a point. Like then it was like more in a denial kind of stand and be like, no, I'm absolutely right, you know, but yeah, you have to give it like to other people sometimes and give them a W. Like no person can do everything alone, you know? That's like why armies like built. Someone's like doing the command, someone is like the sniper, some operate the submarines, some do like the airplane, and you can't one-man army all of that yourself. You need like more people, you need like a whole team, and it's like why I like certain games where it's like not necessarily like you solo everything, but you have at least someone, at least a story card maybe, who's like assisting you. Maybe like an operator, you know. Like in modern, I say like modern, but usually like military operations or like those squad-like operations, you know, where you don't go with a full army but like with a little squad, so that they're not like that they're conspicuous, you know, and can like infiltrate everything, this kind of thing. They have like operators, they have like the map layout, they know like what enemies there are, what kind of weapons they have, and if there are drones anything, and maybe they have like drones over there, maybe they can overlook the whole map layout, you know, and then they can warn, okay, on your 6 there's like some patrolling thing, hide yourself, whatever, you know. I feel like the kind of information warfare, then it's like nice. If you're like solo, it's like a lot harder. Some games portray it like as, you know, they disguise it as like power of friendship. But, and friendship is nice. Friendship is nice. Friendship is important. But you get the gist, right? You need people on your side. Kind of. You can't like solo life, really. You feel like that you can't go forward and that you are the problem. Maybe you are. But think about your options. What have you done? Are there like more ways to go? What are the issues on like going this path, right? I was for the most part, I had like for most part also like my own issues, but you know, like breaking it down, doing like, you know, like those kind of lists, like pro and cons, you know? You have like an issue and then you have like a possible solution maybe. And you do like a pro and con list. What goes for it, what goes against it. And if you have like more good arguments, cool. But sometimes the one argument against it can be like too powerful and it beats out all the pros, right? And then yeah. Like it's not about numbers, but really like about the weight of like the one argument that can like be what holds one back. Sometimes need like the insight of like another person who did it before, for example. And then it's like, it's not so bad how you imagine it, just do it. I will lead you through the steps. And then yeah, like an instructor, a trainer, a teacher, you know, like a master. Those kind of things are like valuable. Sometimes a parent can be valuable. Yeah, I say like those kind of people, you know, those who you look up to. Not necessarily the bros and like the friends, since you're like way too loose with each other. It really has to be like someone who you can look up to. Maybe like the uncle, you know, the cool uncle, the cool aunt, the auntie, maybe like grandpa, grandma, you know, this kind of people. For sure there's like a generational gap, difference. But sure, it's like not bad to educate each other, you know? I sure think it's like helpful, even. Like I liked talking to like older people, to be honest. Like, not that I dislike talking to like youngings kind of, no. But they have like a lot of wisdom, they have like a lot of experience, you know, and it's like so interesting to listen to that. Sometimes they have like those stories to tell, you know, where, or when I was your age, I was in the army, you know, something like that. I was the commander of a little troop. Few years ago, like a sergeant. And we had like this one operation. I was the only one who came back alive. I was like hiding in a tree. And I was like the sniper in my troop. If I were to shoot, the opponents who like raided our base, they would have found me. And I watched all my friends die. This was a traumatic experience. Something like that. I didn't make this story up, by the way. Not my own story, but it was like something I heard from one of my senpais while I was like in trainee. This was like kind of yeah, I had like this kind of image in my mind on like how it's played out, and it was like yeah. It was like during the Cold War maybe, I guess. But in any case, like wars like not. And seeing like yeah, this what is not a peace really. But, you know, from a generational gap difference, it sure is like important to like be aware that those things did happen in the world, and that some people are like scared of that, and they surely don't want us to like go through the same thing. Maybe they do want it, you know, so that we freaking learn and understand their standpoint. But I, for my part, do not wish that other people experience the same thing. It sounds like pretty unpleasant to be in. Watching all your friends die, for example. When you have at least have your family, you know, they like stay back. It's like not always the elderly and like the women, kids who are like on the battlefield, but like the men, you know, who like provide and everything. And this gives at least a motivation like to go back, even if you have like made friendships in the team and you lose them eventually. Maybe like for this kind of generation, like not the same thing, but how many of you have like actual connection to like classmates of like elementary school, middle school, high school? Do you have like connections to your kindergarten friends? And if you have moved and you made like friends in this one place where you were before, let's say in this one town or like one city you lived in, you made friends there, and when you moved, do you still contact each other? Like let's say it was like somewhere around like 2000s or like 2010s, you know? Not sure. But like especially 2000 or like 90s. Yeah, I think like it's harder there to even like keep the contact going. And when they're like my parents would like do a lot of photos, you know, when they print that out. I kind of loved that. It was like the actual digital camera, you know, and sometimes I see like if I like read too many books, or like I'm done with my bookshelf or like one of the books, I sometimes be like, oh, I'm bored, let me flip through some pages, and then I see like my photo album, you know, open that, flip through it occasionally and looking at those pictures and like, wow, this was me when I was like smaller, and I look like so happy that like some other faces, like other kids, you know, and it's like, yeah, kind of nostalgic. I sure like the smartphones. You have like one camera to go, but not always reason to like print those things out, right? Batman foots are sure like nice, I think. A really good invention. But I like remember, you know, how photos are taken, like the very first ones, that it took like about 30 minutes to process, or like to actually capture you. People would like stand in place after like the click on the camera thing like happened, and everything that moves could not be captured, but those things that are like still standing, they would be like captured, I think. Maybe it's like the processing time of like the camera, the very first cameras, that took like so long, you know, that they only like can capture still standing people, buildings, trees, you know, those kind of things. But now technology has like advanced so fast that yeah, it doesn't need all this processing time. They can just do it now, in the moment. instead of like 30 minutes. And thinking about the first computer, the first PC, it was like really huge. Let's say it's like, I don't have a good comparison, but maybe it's like a full classroom. Yeah, it was like a full classroom, like a PC. But now it's like advanced enough that's like, it's like small enough. They can be like even portable, you know, like laptops, Chromebooks. They can be like those office PCs that are like maybe like in the size of a PlayStation 1 console, right? They can be like entertainment, video games, Game Boy Advance. We have like smartphones, you know, this kind of devices now. It's kind of amazing, and it can develop even further and further. Maybe like to the size to, you know, like some people imagine it like sci-fi series that's like a hologram at some point, that we don't like have to touch the dirty screen, you know, and fill the screen with like our fingerprints, you know, it's like dirty over and over again, that we can just do it like in the air, you know, at some point. And then like flying cars, you know, that this kind of future is going to happen. And actually there are like something like flying cars, I heard, like verbally. I don't have sources. It's just like, bro, I made it the F up, maybe. But yeah, but if it's true, man, it could be like interesting. Maybe like, yeah, you know, there are like things like car crashes. And then like those kamikazes, you know, like with a car like full of explosives, let's say. If they're like flying cars, you know, the range of the destructive power can be like a lot more dangerous. If they're like floating cars, it's a different story. Floating cars. So you don't have like to wear out your tire, you know, that you don't need to produce those rubber things, you know. And it's like a different story. But there's also the one more issue when the cars are like floating. They don't leave a trail. They're not leaving a trail. And if you're like kind of in a police, you know, kind of setting, you want to like, you're like after like someone, they don't leave a trail. This is also like one problem. Maybe there can be like things like GPS and such, but there are also ways to like disable this kind of thing. There's like a lot of things to like consider when like trying to advance with technology. So all those kind of sci-fi kind of themes I see, you know, with flying cars. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm thinking too much into it, to be honest. That's an interesting thought. Like, what if? What if? You can make a fantasy story about that, you know, like, not fantasy, but a fictional story about this kind of situations. If you have like these technologies, everybody can access it, you know, and then the potential dangers of that kind of technology. Like a power system, you know. Like a gun, everybody can one-shot the other one with a gun. And then there's like AoE measures, like with bombs, for example. Oh man. Like in gaming, let's like say it's gaming, then it's like, yeah, a lot more understandable. But yeah, let's not talk about it. Sometimes I like overthink those kind of stuff. And then it gets like, yeah, maybe don't give people more ideas, you know, especially if they're like capable of doing more stuff with that, I guess. But in a story setting, it sure can be like interesting. Just like fictional story. And I sure like enjoy those stories and respect those stories that are like keeping in like kind of like a fantasy kind of setting, you know. Since some of them surely don't know how to actually do, let's say, military tactics, you know, or like terrorism. That's like military people against the bad guys, you know, this kind of things. But they keep like the fantasy setting. And a normal human being doesn't really know how CQC works, how like sniping works, or like actual strategy on like military, you know, battlefield. So they do like fantasy and then involve that in like do their own power system, you know. If they know like a fairly bit, you know, I guess they can mix in like some kind of theory of the real world in like the fantasy world, you know. Like e.g. putting an isekai character in there, like one from our world traveling to another world, you know, something like that. But actually, man, I didn't know I could like brainstorm that much into like a thing. Like just like randomly came up. And then I'm starting to brainstorm the possibilities of that. And then like maybe like doing a fictional story. It could be like entertaining. At the same time also like borderline like dangerous. It can be like suspicious, you know. Yeah, maybe onto something. We're watching you, we have like FBI in front of your door, and yeah, we're putting a GPS tracker on your car and everything. Gonna watch your steps, you know. To be honest, during school I was like not that good in like those kind of things. I think I was pretty dumb. My brain cells were like not developed in that time. Or maybe I had like no real motivation, but nowadays, you know, it happened. It happens. It does happen. That there's like this kind of inspiration, I guess. Or maybe like the ability just like now there but developed. That you can think of anything in everything and just do it. That you're just pretty much open for anything. Instead of like being locked in your own little world, kind of. That you're just like expanding, that like willing for more opportunities. I think this is like, yeah, maybe a lot better than just like locking down to one route. Like, a little bit weird. In some games it can be good to be like, focus on one thing you're good at. But in real life, let's say like for jobs, or like any creative kind of measure, or like manager or whatever, can be like helpful to be a jack of all trades. That you're like possible, that you're capable of doing a lot of things, different things. Maybe not like expert, master mode on everything, but you can like do everything like, you know, fairly well. Better than like the average person. Like the more answers you have to a problem, the better your problem solving will be. There's not always one route to a problem, but like multiple routes actually, at times. The more options you have, the better. If you don't happen to have that one ability, to that one problem, you know, solution to that one problem, it's kind of like, yeah. But also like depends on like the place you want to be in. Like if you're like a manager, you know, and you have like a high EQ, like emotional intelligence, you know, that you look out for everyone, that you understand their standpoint, that you like listen to them, everything, and that you are like pretty much like, you know, the guy people can turn to, you know. Yes. And it sure can be nice that you are like good with maths, like with numbers, that you can be like, oh, with the data points, if you subtract that to this, and according to this number, we can do this and that. Like if you're like good with numbers, it can look like cool, and you can like flex and everything, and you can do this kind of numbers work as well, instead of like only doing the social thing. But you can see how people will still appreciate you just for your social abilities, like of having like empathy and everything, right? Instead of like, you know, you're like, fine, we don't really need someone who is like good with numbers or is like a nerd or whatever. You can be like good with this one thing alone. It might be that the some people are like not good at school, but if they, you know, have like those kind of abilities that are like pretty important, like teamwork, then this works wonderfully as well. No need to be a multi-talent. Just a jack of all trades is fine. Any case, I really wrap it up here. And tomorrow, I will stream me side. And maybe I will finish it in the stream. Not really sure, like 3 hours, 4 hours. I saw like some people do like a singular stream, it was like less than 6 hours. So maybe I can finish it in this time. Not really sure. But maybe I can see you in that stream tomorrow. And if not, maybe another time. In any case, that was like my yapping stream. I talk like a lot. Sometimes I had my pauses, but maybe like not longer than 1 minute. Hope it was like at least somewhat of a good BGM, but you can like keep in the background. In any case, have a nice rest of the day, evening, a good night, whatever times in the world you are. With that I say, bye bye.